All right. How do we drill? How do we drill tracking? First way will come out, right? And again, this we have a bunch of different circuits that we'll do with all of our DBs. Here we're working a sideline tackle drill, so we'll have guys 10 yards apart. We'll have a guy run, and he'll sink his hips, and he'll run full speed, he'll sprint, and then we'll have a DB run to that near hip, and again create that angle. If he's slowing, if he's short striding, all right, we want to make sure we don't short stride until we get within about 3 yards of that guy. So if he short strides and starts sinking his hips while we're 8 yards away, that doesn't really help us. We just want to make sure we can continue to close space as we're long striding, right, until we get about 2-3 yards away. Then we'll start matching the hips in that aspect. So here we are doing the drill. We're closing space, running, 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 running. It creates that natural angle, and then we'll finish. One more time as we watch the guys 10 yards away, he's closing that space, and we're going through this thing rapid, rapid, rapid. Another situation right here, we just add another little angle to it. All right, another presentation. This would be like, a DB, again, coming from inside out, tracking that hip, working it at all times, working it in spring, summertime, we're working it in camp, we're working it in season. This thing does not stop. So again, a bunch of different situations for it to show up in to make sure we get great at it here. Emphasis again for tracking is close space, close space, close space. Here we are, we're working a little now screen with our DBs, right? So when we do a drill, the DB's job is to close space while the ball is being thrown if we incorporate a pass to it. All right, we don't want to have them backpedaling while the ball is thrown because that's creating bad habits. If we see the ball thrown, we should be moving forward. We should be moving to the football. So we want to drill it that way as well. So now we get a now screen. We're running downhill, closing space. We want to give that guy as little time as possible to lie to us and make moves. So here we are. We're again working, closing, 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 closing. We get there. We're going to shoot our hands, palms down, right, and step with a firm foot, simulating a tackle on this play. We'll incorporate this with a bubble drill. We'll incorporate this with a swing pass, different things. But again, the coaching points do not change. All right, for closing space. Now we get into a firm drills to work us with a firm. But as we make contact, we've come to the consensus that the biggest and most important thing with a firm foot and a firm shoulder is about making sure our hips, ankles, and our knees are all stacked in a line so that when we make contact that we have power behind it. What we'll find is, right, when our hips are too early, right, too far out in front, we don't have any power. And then we find when our hips are late, we're bent over, we're hunched over. Now again, we're losing power on that whole collision. So hips, we want to make sure they're stacked with our knees and our ankles, and that's what we're drilling right here. So you can have somebody hold a pad. I'm holding a pad here with a firm, and all we want to make sure is our strike timing is correct with our firm foot and getting everything stacked in a line. So that's a pretty good example right there. He gets his right foot in the ground, and as we go, he makes contact with all three at the same time, and he brings his hips through to finish that whole deal. Next guy goes. He's a little late with his hips. Little hips are a little bit far behind, but it ain't bad. It's slightly behind, but it's not a bad picture. This is probably the best picture of everything being stacked right there. Like that's exactly what we want when we make that collision. And then we're going to bring everything through as we bring our hips and bring our feet behind it. Another setup on the drill, when you have multiple guys, you can hit them rapid fire, have them work towards you, have them move towards you. All right. But the same emphasis stands true, right? You want to make sure you get everything stacked. You want to make sure you get that foot in the ground, get those hips stacked, all right, over top of everything, and then bring everything through as you drive. Another different setup with it, use the donuts, right? If you don't have people, or you don't want to use people, use the donuts. And the same thing applies as trying to make sure we have great strike time and get that firm foot in the ground, right? Get everything stacked in a line as we watch these guys go here. That's a great picture by number 7 right there. And then he brings his hips through as he finishes on his play, right? So again, you can use a donut, you can use people, you can have them move towards you, right? Different setups, but the emphasis and the coaching points stay the same of get that foot in the ground, right? Get everything stacked and bring it through on contact. Now the finish. We want to make sure we run through contact, not to contact, and we make sure we finish on top. So bear with me on this one, right? We're all gonna watch my guy right here. I know our camera angle is from the moon, but we're gonna work with it, right? We're gonna watch this guy right here as he goes. He's gonna drive, right? That's what we're working on, finishing that drive, 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 and finish on top. And we'll do this rapid fire. So now in this clip, you'll see this guy. We're just going to keep alternating this line, then over to this line and back and forth, right? But here we go, working on that drive, bringing our hips through and finishing on top. Here's a good example over here. And stepping through, same foot, same shoulder, driving, finishing on top. A cleaner example. These guys have shortened it down, but again, the emphasis of finishing on top is still there. Now here, a couple tackling examples in game, in game, in game. So we're gonna watch the field corner up top. You're gonna see all the different DBs make tackles in this cut up, but we want to make sure we emphasize. We know that we're emphasizing throughout entire secondary. So here we got a cloud corner, sinks. We get a check down right in front of the 6 on a big third down. Close the space, right? Has to adjust his angle slightly as he goes. Doesn't matter. Practice it a bunch of times, get a firm foot in the ground, right? And now I'm going to run my feet, run my feet, run my feet. There's a size mismatch right there, but it doesn't matter, right? I've had a million reps at it. I know what to do. Get them stopped before the sticks, get off the field. Here we'll watch the nickel up top on the hash with the pink cleats. There's that now screen. Like we said, right? When that ball's thrown, I want to be running downhill. Ball's out, I'm downhill. Close, 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 close. All right. And then we get a firm foot in the ground, we get contact, we get a stop. Now, feet die on this one, would have liked his feet to keep running, but again, the contact, right? Same foot, same shoulder, and we get the ball down.